Coming live to you with Brain Fuel from Barbara Britt. So I'm excited to be here with you today. Again, Brain Fuel with Barbara Britt, and I'm on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple. And today we're going to talk about something that I just absolutely love the word about. And I love what it helps you do with your brain. We already talked about last time those 5 chemicals that come to you and allow that brain to do all these different things. Well, tenacity, the word we're going to use this week, and we're going to talk about tenacity, is what allows you, yes, you, to pick that up and really, really go strong and to be able to keep those 5 chemicals in your brain working. Again, Barbara Britt with Brain Fuel, and I am a culture strategist. And this, what I give you today and what I give you every time, is something that you will use with your families, your church, your community, the corporations, companies, nonprofits that you work and live around in our community. So we're going to talk today about tenacity. My question is to you: do you have tenacity? Do you know the difference between tenacity and stubbornness? Well, I can tell you, I lived my first part of my life with stubbornness, and I'm going to live the rest of my life in tenacity. And so I hope that you will join me, because this is one thing that's going to give all of us a lot of strength and make things better for us. So again, I'm so glad that you're with me. If you have a question or you want more information, all you have to do is go to my website, contact me. My website is barbarabritt.com. I will send you any information, things that I have, things that have worked, and things that haven't worked. I will be open with you. And I just want this to be a journey that we travel on together. And so if you know something I need to know, let me know about it. I'd love to do that. I'd also love to come in to your corporation or your business and be able to grow along with you. So let's start on the word tenacity. Tenacity is the ultimate skill. You heard me right. It's the ultimate skill that we can develop, because it's what gives us that oomph. I call it juice, but it's what gives you that oomph, that juice to keep on, keep on, keep on. Because in life, we have some rocks and boulders and, creeks that we have to go over and jump over and that type of thing. All of us do. All of us are privileged to have that. And I say privileged because that's what helps us to grow. So we're going to talk about tenacity, the ultimate skill that we have. And it is called a deal maker. But I will tell you this, it can also be a deal breaker. You heard me right. It can be a deal breaker if we're not absolutely living in the power of tenacity. It says tenacity is the fierce blend of determination, persistence, and grit. I love the word grit, and I'm sure you do too. Grit just means getting in there when things are messy and you've got the grit to go through it. And at the first, you might be thinking, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. I don't want this challenge. But you know what? Your brain is there. Release those chemicals. Walk in tenacity. And it's things that need to be done. It's things that are going to help us to grow and develop. And it's going to help other people as well. That's what life is all about. So again, let me say this, and I want you to write it down. Tenacity is a fierce blend of determination and persistence and grit. Determination, persistence, and grit. And isn't that what it takes? Some people I've heard, and some of them are very tired, or they just don't have that oomph. And they'll say, I'm too tired for tenacity. And I'm hoping today that I'm going to be able to give you some tricks to the trade. My next show will be on even more into tenacity, so that you can quit being tired and you can pick it up and go. You're tired or think you can't do it, but there's a spark in you that says, maybe if I talk to the right person, if I do the right thing. I'm Barbara Britt. Go to my website, barbarabritt.com, and I will tell you what, I'll answer you back. I'll be that spark for you. Why? Because when all of us have that we can depend on each other. We can move forward in life, and life is better. Our community is better. That's what it's all about. It says for leaders and their organizations, tenacity, it's a trait that means the difference between, well, we're doing okay, and we have hit success. It's failure or success. And it takes our team from all right to thriving. You know, lately I've heard a lot of people say, I'm surviving. I'm a survivor. Yes, you're a survivor. You came through on the other end, and we celebrate you. You know, celebrate you. And then I want you to go from a survivor to a thriver. Why? Because it's out there. And anything less is not using our talents that we were gifted with from birth. You already had those from birth. You were gifted from them. So let's start thriving and using that. You know, so many times in our society, we just walk away. We just walk away because you know what? Challenges and it's messy. You know, it's messy. It's tough. And sometimes it seems unattainable. Well, tenacity will help you through that. You're going to go over, around the side, underneath. You're going to keep bouncing off of it. You're going to get stronger. You're going to find different ways. Maybe that way is not the right way. But maybe if I take a side cut and then I can come back in, what's my possibilities? So let's not just walk away. We're doing too much of that. Yet, if we will have tenacity, the light will shine bright on our issues. Shine bright. And, you know, have you ever done that? And I go, oh, I'm putting that on, I'm putting it on because, you know, and you make it huge. I've been doing that about 3 things lately. And I just had to pick myself up by my bootstrap, shake myself off and go, get busy, get going. And then I get in there and it's like nothing. And all this time I dreaded it, and I made it bigger and bigger and bigger. Pretty soon it was tsunami coming after me, and I'm 1 inch on the seafloor, standing up high, 1 inch, and that tsunami is coming down. Well, those little things around me, using tenacity, I start growing and growing and growing, and I'm able to handle it. I'm able to take that tsunami, turn it around, and use it for my benefit, not my destruction. Tenacity, that's what it's going to give you. How many of you out there want to join in with me? I want to hear from you. Again, go to my website, barbarabrett.com, and let me hear from you. So, you know, when we shine the light on issues, shine the light on issues, they're the most demanding from us and require long-term focus and commitment, remediation. Then leaders must do this in order to communicate to their people, to their families, to their organizations, to their churches, whatever. They have to communicate with candor. Yeah, candor. Being blatantly honest. Blatantly honest. Yeah, you can do that. Being blatantly honest. Courageous. Being courageous to do things that you don't want to do, you're fearful of doing. They look too hard, they're insurmountable. What if people see me fail? Then you know what? People saw you doing something, because you can't fail if you don't do anything. Steadfastness, sticking in there and going after that. Again, I will say this, when Linda and Stratton and I went to North Carolina, and Glenn, one of our other friends, took us. Well, you know, we went up on our last day, and he goes, "You want to do that trail?" And he wouldn't have done the trail if we hadn't. And he was waiting for us, you know, probably to say no. And we said, yes, we will. Well, he would let us go on it ourselves. And we had tenacity. We'd go around the boulders, and we'd slide back down, and we go up and we go back. And, you know, we just over and over. It was not pretty. Okay. If anybody looked at us, they would say, what are they doing? We were being tenacious. it wasn't pretty. And when he needed to help that help a hand down, which he did a couple times, we grabbed it, thanked him, pulled up, and then we kept on going. Tenacious, tenacity. How many of you have that? Are you tenacious? Ask yourself that. Am I tenacious? Will I stand up for what I believe in? Will I stand up? Will I stand up and be counted if no one else is counting but myself? Because every time you do that, that core strength in you, the core, your values, every time you do that, they go up a little bit. Linda and I are still bragging about going up that mountain. We're still bragging about it. We're still living the high from it. And this is after a month. And it doesn't matter. We're still living the high from doing it. That's what will happen to you. You believe in yourself a little bit more. You've done it. You've survived. You've conquered. You've been there. Yes, I fell one time. Linda slipped one time. And we kept on going. Okay. And we had a helping hand by Glenn reaching down and providing that helping hand to us. And then going on and leaving us to work on our own tenacity, which I think was great for us. You know, with tenacity, the whole world is your oyster. It's your oyster. I mean, you have a plethora of options. Everything is an option. Everything's exciting. Everything is a journey. Everything is, you know, how do you stay young? How do you, and I'm talking about young mentally and doing and going and having. Well, you have tenacity. And if you don't have enough of it, you'll work on it. That's where you're going to see me. I'm working on mine. You know, it takes tenacity to push through life at times. It does. It does. The last 2 years, I've had to pull out tenacity more than once. More than once. I'm glad I had it. I'm glad I had great memories to go off of it and know that I could do it. I'm glad that that helping hand was out there to me. Even when my husband was gone, his helping hand showed up in my times of need. They showed up. They were there. Tenacity, people. How many of you are going to grab a hold of it? Let that brain dump in all those chemicals. Start going. You know, one thing it says, it takes tenacity to push through life at times, not to give up and not to give in. You can sit down and take a breather. You can lift your hand like I've done. I've lifted my hand on several occasions because I needed that help. I didn't need to hold on to that hand the whole time. I just needed to get me over that last boulder or to help me down so I didn't slide down the other side of the mountain. I needed that hand to steady me for a second. And then I let go and I was off again. You know, I want us not to confuse tenacity with stubbornness. Now, my first probably 25 years of life, it was flat stubbornness. But stubbornness is not what we need. It's tenacity. And I'm going to give you some ideas. You know, tenacity is a great trait to have almost in any situation. And stubbornness is almost the worst trait to have in any situation. And this is just how you can think of them. You know, to be stubborn is think about clinging to what you know. Well, do we have growth when we cling to what we know? We don't. If that's it, how many times have you been someplace? Well, we've always done it that way. I know, but it's not working for you right now. Never forget your platform, your ground. Never forget that. Never forget where you came from. But you don't have to just live right there either. You're made to live and grow and develop. Always cherish where you came from. Pay proper respects to that, but be willing to go on. Have tenacity. While being tenacious is about steady movement forward. How many of you, raise your hands out there. If you're driving in the car, raise your hands out there. Several of you have said that you follow me. So I want you to raise your hand. go in Tenacity. Let me know you're doing that. Again, go to my website. Doesn't cost you any money. Just go there. Patience and tenacity are worth more than twice their weight of cleverness. Think about that. Patience and tenacity. Having the patience to sit back and say, how is that going to unfold? Well, I bring in this information, this information, this information. How is it going to unfold? How is it going to do? So we're going to end today with this. Benefits of tenaciousness. I'm going to give you some benefits. And then I would love to hear from you. Just mark off a few. Just take some. Here's some benefits of tenaciousness. Confidence. You know, we have to have confidence every time we walk into a room, every time we get out of bed and we go to work, anytime we have to have confidence. Tenacity enables you to have that. That's a benefit of being tenacious. Okay. Courage, having that raw courage to go out there and say, I can do this. I believe in me. I have several people that will hire me, or I when I work with a corporation, they're part of my clientele is on one-on-one coachings. And I want this, I want to be this, I want to do this. But they have to have the courage and belief in themselves to step up and make a decision. Otherwise, they flounder, and then they're not leading. They're not leading. Decisiveness. I've got to act. I can't sit there and waver. I've got to act. What are things that have happened in your life that you had to act? You had to do that, or else everything fell down. What were some things in your life? You know, decisiveness, being able to take and build that background behind you and work through it. What didn't work before? What do you need to tweak? Move, do it now. Resilience. It builds resilience, the ability to keep getting back up, to knowing that you were made, you were created for this. Fearlessness. Yeah, I know we have to have a certain amount of fear is good. It keeps us from going out in the middle of 98 and trying to run across that, right? If you live around my area, you know what I'm talking about. 98, it takes an act to get across the street, even in a car, let alone on foot. But fearlessness, knowing that you have what it takes to handle those situations. You've built in systems. Openness to change. I love that. How many of you are open to change? How many of you grab a hold of it and say, yes, I am living for change? It doesn't mean I throw out the rest. That's what people think. Well, if I'm changing, I throw out everything else. No, you don't. You bring it forward with you and you grow it. You allow it to be watered, fertilized, and weeded so that you can grow exponentially. So, you know, motivation. Quit waiting for someone else to motivate you. It's in here. Motivate yourself. Get excited by yourself. Listen to other people. If you've got to, listen to people that are motivational. Listen to people that give you tips and things. And then you get out there and decide what you want to do with it. How about the ability to self-regulate? Anybody out there need that besides me? Yes, we got to regulate. I had to get myself in gear today. And after I did my power walk this morning, I did my live show and then I did a power walk. Well, then it was a little bit hard for me to get started again. This one is big for you out there. Please listen. Ability to overcome rejection and failure. That's a hardcore one with me. It's a hardcore with me when I put myself out there and people say no. Or, you know, failure means I'm doing something. Rejection isn't personal. Don't make it personal. Rejection is more about them than it is about you. Know who you are. Love who you are and keep continuing to work on who you are and growing. This one's another one that's got gold stars by it. Ability to find the positive and dismiss the negative. Sense of purpose and success. That's us. Okay. That is us, ability to find the positive. And remember, sometimes in order to find our positive, we have to release others. We can't continually go into a negative situation, be around negative people, and grow and stay positive. It doesn't happen. You have the choice. Dismiss the negative. Sense of purpose. Sense of purpose. Know your purpose. If you're in doubt, barbarabritt.com. Ask me about some things to just know your purpose. I'll send you a sheet to get you started, okay? I promise. And success. We need to know our success. We need to, every success we have, I don't care how small it is. First of all, we have to realize it's a success. Did you move? Did you take the challenge? It may be like Linda and I going up Grandfather Mountain, North Carolina. It may not be pretty. I'm not going to say it was. If you saw us, it was not pretty. But we did it. We accepted the challenge from everybody, every place, everything. And we did it. And I wouldn't give $1 million for that. And neither would she. So this is Barbara Britt with Brain Fuel, dropping in chemicals into that brain, expanding and allowing you to go out there and make a difference in yourself, your family, your friends, your community, making a difference in the world. Thank you for joining me today. So glad that I could be with you.